So today I'm going to do a review on the GLA Regulator, and I've had it for quite a while now. I set it up since this tank has started, so I've had some time to actually use it now, and I think I'm comfortable enough to do a review now and show me my thoughts. So let's see, we'll go down here. So obviously my CO2 setup, I got a 5-pound tank, which I also got from GLA, which is Green Leaf Aquariums. For if anybody doesn't know, I'll put their website in the link in the description if you guys ever want to check them out. They have real good products. Anything for planet aquariums you can think of, they have it. But today we're going to talk about their regulator, and this is their Pro DS, and it's going to run you about $295. And people, I think one of the things that people question is, they see like UniS and maybe sometimes CO2 art. They have ones that are around 150 that are dual. So what makes this different than those? And what I've seen so far is, work-wise, it's same. It's gonna deliver CO2 just as same as the other ones. But I think what sets these GLA ones apart is their build quality. They're just real nice. They're premium. I mean, if you just put them in your hands, they're just real heavy. They're just nice, heavy duty, real nicely built, premium regulators. And you could get away with the other ones, and they'll do just the same. And more than likely, you're gonna start a new tank, and more than likely you're not going to keep a regulator forever. So if you're not planning on keeping one forever, there's no point in buying a real nice one. But I always buy nicer stuff, and I always try to buy the best, so that's why I chose the GLA. But it definitely is worth the money if you want a real nice CO2 regulator. And so some of the features, obviously, there's a little washer in here, and it screws onto your CO2. Simple. So the two gauges, this gauge will actually show you the amount of CO2 that's actually in your tank, and then the second gauge is actually your working pressure. So that's what's nice about a dual gauge, is not only do you get the working pressure, which usually if you have just a one gauge, it's going to show you your working pressure, because that's obviously what's important, how much CO2 is actually getting pushed out. And what's nice about the dual is that it'll actually tell you how much CO2 you have left. So usually on full, I'll have about where it is right now. It's almost 1,000 psi, but it's around like the 800 range, 700-800. That's what you should expect when you get a full tank filled up. But I have it on a 90p aquarium, and it will last 9 months easily. You can see I got it refilled like probably last month, and you can see I don't use CO2 much at all. So a 5-pound tank will last forever for me. But then you got your adjustable working pressure right here. This will actually change the pressure right here, and you'll see it on the gauge if I turned it. I'm not going to turn it now because I don't want to mess up the dosage that I'm doing, but I do it about 30 psi. That's a good working pressure. Some people do 40. It's whatever you want to do. 30 to 40 is a good amount of working pressure for any diffuser. And then obviously you got your solenoid, which is nice about these nice regulators. A lot of them will have them if you get a nicer one, but that's so you can put your CO2 on a timer, and that's really important because you do not need CO2 at night. It's just a waste of CO2, and the plants cannot use them because they're not photosynthesizing, so there's just no point in having that. So you definitely want to put a timer. I just get a little analog, or what you would call those timers, just a simple timer. And then obviously you got your bubble counter, which is nice. Which is also nice about these types is CO2R and UniS. They all have these type of integrated bubble counters, which are real nice. You can see how many bubbles per second to get an idea of how much CO2 you're actually dosing your tank. And then this is the needle valve right here, to where you can actually adjust. Also you got your working pressure right here, but then you can actually fine tune how much actual bubbles per second is going in your tank. And in my 90p, I run about 2 bubbles a second roughly. But then, so you got to fill this thing up with water about 3/4, and then obviously you'll count your bubbles, and it'll go up this tube. So it goes up this tube, which also is CO2 graded tube, which is it's kind of a must, because if you use airline, it has the potential to pop a hole or just pop open because of the pressure of the CO2. So it's best just to get the CO2 line itself. But you see it comes out, and then I got a check valve right at the top here, and then I got a neo diffuser, which is acrylic tube, so I was able to actually heat it and bend it over there, and then it goes down into my neo diffuser, which is the biggest one they make. This is the large one. It's about it's probably a little bigger than like a quarter size on the actual diffuse head part. But I did have inline for this tank, but I just switched it because my filter just was getting too clogged too fast, and then plus having an inline with it, it just wasn't working, so the CO2 really wasn't getting pushed around the tank that much. So I switched to inline, and then my power head actually pushes all that CO2 around in the tank and gets it nice and mixed. But it'd be the same concept if I had an inline. That this line, instead of going actually in the tank, this line would actually like hook up to the diffuser somewhere on the actual pipes of the filter. But yeah, that's all I really had to say about the GLA regulator. Real nice regulator. If you have any questions, definitely let me know down below. But real nice, definitely worth it. A thumbs up for me, 10 out of 10. Definitely on the pricier side, but if you're one of those people that are really looking for that top build quality and real premium, this is definitely the regulator for you. But if not, if you just want something that does the same thing and will deliver CO2, there's definitely other options out there that'll do just as good of a job. But other than that, follow my Instagram at JJ Aquariums. If you have anything, other questions, definitely comment down below. But other than that, I'll see you guys on the next one.